This is the RAZER Barracuda X CHROMA. The name is fan-bloody-tastic, but do I feel the same about this wireless gaming headset in action, in day-to-day use? Well, let's take a closer look. The RAZER Barracuda X CHROMA retails for $130. It has simultaneous 2.4 gigs and Bluetooth connectivity on board, which RAZER calls Smart Switch. Now, Wi-Fi is done over their hyperspeed dongle, while Bluetooth 5.3 only has SBC support, unfortunately, but on the flip side, there is multi-point Bluetooth support for what it's worth. Now, as it is, the only platform the Barracuda isn't compatible with is Xbox, so if you're looking for that, you probably have to look somewhere else. Now, in the business end of things, there are 40mm drivers in here doing all the grunt work. It's covered by this removable mesh pad right here with really nice soft padding all around for the headband as well as the ear pads. Now the weight on this is 288 grams based on my scale with the boom mic right there. Battery life on this thing, on the other hand, is monster, guys. 69.4 hours with RGB off at 65% volume with Wi-Fi. Then that jumps to like 72.7 hours, if I remember correctly, under the same conditions with Bluetooth. Both extremely strong numbers. Now, of course, using RGB drops each of those numbers by about 40%. I intentionally kept cleaning to a minimum for these headphones so you can see how these things pick up scratches and grease and marks and all like that. I can see some scoring on the RAZER logo right there. So, you know, the plastics are not the best, and these things are just, you know, grease magnets for what it's worth. But overall, the build quality is pretty decent. You know, there's really no creaking when you do this little extreme twist test. Articulation on the vertical axis, you can't fold it down small to create a ball, but it does come with a case. And there is 11 D10s on the headband, and as I mentioned before, the padding on these are really nice and runs a little bit warm, so on cold winter seasons like right now, these things are like perfect, I'll tell you what. All the controls are located on the left ear cup, and for the most part they fall within easy reach of your fingers, especially once you memorize the whole scheme to it. Their power button is right here in the middle, the bright LED light, USB-C charging, and this is the smart switch button. And one of the things it does is, like, if you quickly want to switch between your EQ settings, you tap on it and it will tell you what it is. This is not a 3.5 port, by the way, for audio jacks or whatever. This is really for the mic. It's a unidirectional thing, so you slot in one way and it fits right in there. And the mic, by the way, I hope it focuses properly. It tells you with this symbol of the mic that this is the side to speak on, not this side. It's a flexible boom mic, by the way. And to mute the mic, you press this button. This is the quick mic mute switch. This is the volume dial. It works really well as well. You can probably hear too that the button switches or the button quality doesn't sound that expensive, but they work well enough, which is what counts really at the end of the day. On the side right here, you can see the 6-zone RGB lighting with the ring, and there's a logo as well. So, you know, some of you may like that. I'm, you know, personally on the fence on these things. We got a little bit of snow, so I'm not complaining, but it is iced over, so I'm gonna be careful as I run today for this test. So we're outside doing the Bluetooth range test like we normally do, and I have the Barracudas on me, and I have the River by Aurora piping from my OnePlus Open directly to this. Still going strong, I hope, obviously. But where I'm standing right now, 25 feet, direct line of sight, still going strong, guys. Thank you for joining me today. Oh, I just got a left-right. This is weird. Headphones compared to earbuds or earphones should have stronger signal, but I got a left-right signal fluctuation and I got it again. So, oh geez, almost slipped and died there. Yeah, it's really popping like popcorn right now in my ears. But you can see also, let's look at the fit as I try to run and not die on this slippery ice and snow. They stay pretty well, pretty comfortable in my head. And the ear pads, in a warm weather it's going to be hot, but like in a cold weather like this, whoa, that was slippery. Perfect, it keeps my ears warm like ear mitts, which is a nice plus. These come off easily too. If I do a lot of head wobble, if you're dancing to your music, these are gonna come right off. But let's test the mics on these down by the roadside. If you ever do take these out for a run, you'll look like an idiot, but at least you sound good doing it. As you can hear from this sample, here comes a truck and a couple cars. Testing. 1, 2, 3, how's that sound? The mic is really good. The signal is clean. Compared to the Alienware Pro wireless that I looked at a few weeks back or a while back,
It's not as sophisticated sounding, but technically it's a really good mic. The Windjammer, or this mic cover on a windier day, today is just dead quiet, like right now it's just dead quiet, but on a windier day when I tested this, it cuts the sound of the wind really well. We did it off, of course, is not recommended, but yeah, really good job here, Razer. So with that said, let's head back to the studio.
If you want, you can pair this headphone with the Razer audio app, and as you can see guys, the interface is dead simple. Almost 98% of all primary settings are accessible from the main screen. And for example, you have battery life at the top, quick connect to manually switch between paired devices, and then there's DND for gaming. And by the way, activating gaming mode disables multi-point, which is a downer for me. And under preset, you have 3 presets and a 10-band parametric, which is nice, but there's only one save spot that you can't even rename. Now, back at the main screen though, there's the RGB controls at the bottom, and you tap that to swap between wheel, static, spectrum, and breathing. And those who are used to RGB-enabled Razer products should be very familiar with how this tool works. And lastly, within settings, you can also set auto off between 5 minutes to 1 hour. I'll tell you what, spatial audio effects are a lot of fun with these, like arrows whizzing by in Ghosts of Tsushima or machines charging me from behind on Horizon Forbidden West. Awesome stuff, man. The Barracuda, I would say, is quite adept at recreating the atmosphere the audio designers intended for games, especially ones with 3D audio built in. It's only when listening to arguably more reference type content like music will the Barracuda begin to buckle when pushed. Now, low frequencies give a good thump in the upper chest area, I feel, and highs around the 7 to 8K region are a little bright for long stretches but offer good detail that some users look for. Now, despite these respectable traits though, probably the biggest thing lacking on these headphones is power. Like, sound output is good overall, but lacks robustness, or as some in the audio community would call, energy. And pumping up the volume won't help either, guys. Anything above like 7/10s and this thing quickly loses composure. Another thing the Barracuda has going for it is comfort. Like one day I was like war thundering for 3 hours straight, almost forgetting that I had these on, which probably is a testament to the well-sorted padding and relatively low weight. And that's also thanks to the mostly plastic build. After the Alienware Pro we looked at recently, I'm straight up giving Razer a thumbs up for its superior media controls. You see, Alienware, you didn't have to ditch simple things like track forward, backward if you had just included multifunction buttons like that on the Barracuda, or pretty much everyone else for that matter. Sorry to say this, but the RGB layout just doesn't do it for yours truly. Personally, the Kraken line with its dot matrix style is even more unique, while this, whole colorized logo and ring thing is way overplayed. You don't believe me? Just do a quick search on Amazon and Temu for RGB headsets, and you'll quickly see what I mean. Oh, and speaking of lighting, this bright blue status light that you see right here will bother the person next to you on a night flight or if your wife is trying to go to sleep. And sure, it doesn't blink like some other brands do, but a lesser evil is still, well, evil. So the X CHROMA is Razer's latest addition to the Barracuda lineup, putting it right smack dab in the middle of that range in terms of price and features. Now, if you want ANC, the Pro is probably what you want to get, but otherwise, this thing sounds good for music, even better with games, has bomber battery life. If you want RGB that only others can see, I guess it's there, but more importantly, the price is competitive when you're talking MSRP. But on the flip side, a hot favorite like the SteelSeries Arctis Nova 7 is roughly the same price on Amazon at the moment, if that's your jam. Or how about the Logitech G Pro X2 Lightspeed for $50 more right now as well. They're all good stuff. Well, depending on when this video drops, I'd like to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, guys. Thank you so much. I'm probably jumping the gun here a little bit early, but it's the holiday season, so happy holidays. And thank you for joining me in 2024. For those of you who've been with me forever, you know that 2024 has been big with milestones. I reached my 25K subscribers and everything, and I've gotten so much more brands and videos and all that on this channel this year than ever before, and I thank you guys so much. Thanks to all the brands for for entrusting me as well. And yeah, 2025 will be awesome, so stay put and come join me. If you like what I'm doing, remember to like this video, thumbs up, and subscribe and reshare and all that kind of such. And remember to do something loving and kind for somebody in this world, because guess what, guys? If you haven't seen the news, the world needs it more than ever, and it starts with you, believe it or not. Yeah, peace out, guys. God bless, and I'll see you the next time.